It's the year 2014. Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury, is giving a speech to the General Synod of the Anglican Church, which is sharply divided over a number of doctrinal issues. In his speech, Welby pleads the bishops, priests, and lay people to engage in what he calls good disagreement. Now, with the term good disagreement, I take it that Welby was talking mainly about tolerating each other's views. Tolerance is an important goal, but it's not the only goal. It's also a very good thing for disagreeing people to resolve their disagreements. By this I mean two things. First, I mean that it's good to agree on the same belief. Second, it's good for that belief to be true. And this is what I'll talk about today, resolving disagreements, in particular about religion. By religion, I just mean disagreements about whether there is a transcendent or ultimate reality like God, and if so, what he or it is like. So this includes atheism as well as a variety of religious views. So what is a disagreement? It's when one person believes something and another person denies that very thing. Now, if it's really a disagreement, then somebody has to be mistaken. That's just logic. It can't be that God exists and that he doesn't exist. At least not when exists has the same meaning in both sentences. So the first step to resolving a disagreement is realizing that somebody has to be mistaken. Of course, neither person thinks it's them, and why should they? After all, it wouldn't be much of a belief if you didn't think it was true. But whether your belief is true or false, you have something to gain from resolving a disagreement. Now, the advantage is perhaps most obvious for the person with a false belief. She'll end up with a true one. But even if your belief is true, then you still stand to benefit from resolving your disagreement. For this will involve your interlocutor telling you why she believes what she does, and why she thinks you are mistaken. And this will challenge you to see things from her point of view, and to think hard about your own reasons for your own belief. And you may gain a better understanding of why your belief is true. So it's good for everybody involved to resolve a disagreement. But religious disagreements in particular are very hard to resolve. And the reason is that people are often personally, socially, and existentially invested in their beliefs about religion. And this leads us to have strong biases against different views to our own, or indeed against the people who profess those views. Bias tends to make us more deeply entrenched in our own beliefs and less interested in engaging constructively with people with different beliefs. So suppose we're interested in resolving a disagreement about religion, but realize that biases may get in the way. What do we do? A natural first step is to look at the parties' evidence. So far, so good, but drawing conclusions from evidence is not a straightforward matter. Now think of a jury trying to decide on the basis of the evidence whether to give a guilty verdict. The movie 12 Angry Men is a great illustration. Or think of two scientists debating which theory their evidence supports. And if we're biased, then our bias is going to affect the way we're disposed to weight our evidence to begin with. To see this, consider an illustration. Suppose you really like Sam, but your friend really doesn't like her. And suppose that Sam is driving and swerves her car. Because you are biased in favor of Sam, you conclude that the evidence of the swerve indicates that she must have been trying to avoid hitting something in the road. But your friend is biased against her, and he thinks that it indicates that she is reckless. So bias can affect the way we weight our evidence itself. So, if we want to resolve a disagreement about religion, evidence is only part of the answer. We need to agree on a way to weight our evidence that helps us minimize any bad effects of bias. That is, we have to find what I'll call an evidence weighting policy. This policy should help us with both aspects of resolution, coming to agreement and having what we agree to be a true belief. And if it is to do these things, it will have to find a way to deal with the effects of bias in the way we form beliefs. So I'm going to look at some evidence-weighting policies for beliefs about religion, and I will argue that one of them does the best job in managing bias so as to help us resolve religious disagreements.